Howdy folks, I got another unboxing this weekend. Here's the box right here, and inside should be my new Native American flute from Blue Bear Flutes. So first of all, you can see the box was somewhat damaged in shipping. It's kind of beat up there, but it sounds like there's a fair amount of padding in there, so hopefully the flute's safe. In the interest of speeding up the unboxing video here, I went ahead and pre-cut around the tape here, so hopefully I can get it open fairly quickly. But here we go. Actually, that came open real easy. I cut pretty well. So it looks like there's some sort of paper wrapped. The flute's sort of wrapped in paper. Oh, and there's probably can't see that, but there's packing peanuts. Certainly hear that. There's packing peanuts all through there to help protect it. So it does look like the flute made it without any damage. At least it appears before I've unwrapped it here, but you can see there's a little, well, hopefully you can see that, the light isn't blowing it out there. There you go, there's a little pamphlet there that says Native American, God, good golly, I'm getting a light problem there. There we go, Native American flute. We'll look more at that in a second, and it just has a couple rubber bands around it here, so let's take them off. All right, here we go. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. All right, there is our Blue Bear flute. So if you're not familiar with Blue Bear, it's a pretty popular company that makes Native American flutes. Charlie Matatoyela is the flute maker. He's pretty well known. Here's their logo right there. It's a bear playing a flute. Hopefully you can see that. And very simple. He keeps them very simple and stripped down. They don't have a lot of ornateness to them. They are just very functional and simple. And this is a 5-hole flute. The modern ones have 6 holes, and there's just another hole right here. And when you play it, you normally just keep your finger over that hole. Well, if you watch on the Blue Bear YouTube channel, Charlie does some tutorials where he talks about, he went back and found some original flutes, and they don't have a hole there. They're like this, they have 5 holes. And he says, because plain and simple, you think about the Native American culture, and you know they used every piece of the buffalo and all of this. Why would they take the time to put a hole through the flute that you're just going to keep covered all the time? And so he does his with 5. Now, I realize that there are some notes you can play using that 6th hole outside of the standard that most Native American songs used. So there are some reasons to have that 6 hole, but he also goes into how still using a 5 hole, you can still play all those notes. You just may have to do different combinations where you open multiple holes or however that works. I'm not the expert on that, obviously. But basically, you can get every note that you can get on a 6-hole flute on a 5-hole flute. So he does his in the more traditional 5-hole fashion. That said, this particular one is in the key of A minor, which is also C major. If you know that trick that, the infamous 6, I'm not going to explain that here. There's plenty of information out there if you want to do a search on that. But here we go, let's look. So it's got the typical leather wrap that we see on these flutes. It's got the block, and the block is not shaped like an animal or anything. It's just a very basic, elegant block. It's got the hole at this end. This one is made of cedar. Very beautiful. Smells amazing. It's finished. He uses no power tools in making these, and he uses natural oils and saps and things to come up with the stains and varnishes, so there's no chemicals used in this. We see the Blue Bear logo right, oops, that's upside down, sorry. There, you see the Blue Bear logo, wood burned in there. The holes are, you can just see that they're kind of charred around. I'm gonna apologize for the window light here, kind of really blasting out the flute, but you can see how they're just kind of charred in there, and also you may be able to see the charring down the opening of the flute. And you can also see how he sort of, where he did the notch here, hopefully you can see that. There's like a 90-degree angle right here, and then it kind of comes up gradually here to kind of make it nice and elegant. I really like how he did that around the hole there. Really looks nice. And also the light colored leather here looks really nice with the finish on this flute. So if you're a subscriber to my channel, you probably remember a couple months ago I got a different flute, and it's right here. This particular flute is in the key of E minor. So if I hold them, see me trying to hold them about the same distance from the camera, you can see the E minor flute is significantly longer. So there we go. You can see it's significantly longer, and also it is significantly bigger around. So you can certainly see that to get a lower pitch, you need a larger flute. The holes are similar. This one is actually a traditional 6-hole flute, so this little cover here is covering the other hole. So right now they would play exactly the same, but it has an additional hole that you can use to get additional note. That's different from the tuning where they put the hole that you keep covered. You can see these are made of different woods and have different finishes on them, so you get a little different color and grain pattern. But both are really nice flutes. And now let's hear what this thing sounds like. So again, I am not a flute player. This one over here was my first flute ever. But you can see it doesn't take a lot to be able to play one of these. They're very intuitive instrument. There's not really a huge embouchure or anything. You just kind of blow through the hole and you get notes. With this particular tuning, as you go up, this is going to be the lowest note on the flute. As you go up, you're going to get to the higher notes on the flute until all 5 holes are open, and that is the highest note on the flute. So very simple instrument to play, and you can just do some kind of So again, I'm not much of a flute player, but you can see it doesn't take a whole lot to get some, you know, cool little melodies out of this. So here's my new Blue Bear Flute. Beautiful little instrument, elegant, and very cool.